Stella Adler died of heart failure Monday in Los Angeles. She coached such greats as Robert De Niro and Marlon Brando. Stella Adler was 91. Tonight on, also another note, blues guitarist Albert King also died Monday of heart failure. Albert King was 69 years old. Stone.
Thanks a lot, Bob. Dateline NBC, starring Stone Phillips and Jane Pauley. Well, Stone, I wonder if those children have warmed up to Santa.
I hope so by now.
I know, otherwise he's going to be very depressed. Hey, Santa, what's shaking down there?
Well, Katie, actually, we've cooled the kids off a little bit. They're across the rink right now.
Aha!
And they're watching a wonderful ice skating show that's been put together by one of Santa's favorite elves, JoJo Starbuck. Hello, Ms. Starbuck.
Hello, Mr. Claus.
Well, now, what are the kids watching? What did you put together for them?
Well, we have some wonderful skaters from the local area performing today. This is Rosemary and Mark. And in a time when a lot of Americans are wondering that charity should really begin at home, it's great that Chemical Bank and over 2,000 small businesses have put together this wonderful program for some of the needy kids in the area. They're having breakfast at the American Festival Cafe and the Sea Grill. They're going to see this Christmas spectacular at Radio City Music Hall. It's really a great day with a true Christmas spirit.
That's right, and this is what's wonderful about New York. Santa loves visiting New York. Well, JoJo?
Well, we love having you visit us.
And Santa likes being had. Thank you very much. Ho, ho, ho. Off you go now, JoJo. And Santa will have something in your stocking a little later. Ho, ho, ho. Let's take a look at what's going on as far as the weather. Al Roker left this for me, and we can see that today we've got sunshine in the northeast after some variably cloudy skies. Down in the south, though, big problems. Lots of rain, lots of fog, big travel delays. In the southwest, lots of sunshine, but unseasonably cold. But not for Santa. Ho, ho, ho. And we're also looking for snows in the northeast. Christmas Eve, Santa's favorite. I'm going to have easy sledding in the plains, also the northeast, but I'm going to have to use an umbrella down in the Gulf Coast. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your ho-ho neck of the woods.
Good morning, everybody. Still dealing with some clouds out there this morning. We show you what's going on with the live eyes, and you can see some clouds up at about 15,000 feet, making for a very nice picture this morning. Mostly cloudy officially at Lambert Field. 33 degrees right now with a wind chill of 23 as winds are out of the southeast at 8 miles per hour. We are looking for partly sunny skies today. A high temperature, pretty pleasant, up near 49. Winds will be out of the southeast at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Ho, ho, ho.
Santa has to get back on the sleigh. Anything you'd like in your stocking, Katie?
I can think of a few things, Santa, but I'll tell you later, okay?
Well, Santa can't wait to hear that.
Okay, the Santa Meister. See you later. We'll be back with more on today, but first, these messages. Last October, a 23-year-old college student had a 1 in 20,000 chance of finding what she needed, a bone marrow transplant to battle leukemia. None of her relatives matched, and the prospect of finding a life-saving stranger seemed bleak. But just in time, the HLA registry found a match for Lauren Atherley, and in a few moments, Lauren will meet the 23-year-old woman who saved her life. Lauren, good morning to you. Welcome to Today.
Hi.
How long did it take you to find a match, a bone marrow donor?
Well, I was lucky. It only took about 6 months. Usually it can take a long know.
Why didn't you get any bone marrow from any of your relatives? How did that work out?
Well, you have a 1 in 4, 25% chance of getting it from your siblings. And I have 2 older brothers, but they weren't a match.
Did you think, I'm sure you were hoping that one of your relatives would match, and they all tried.
Right.
And it must have been very disappointing because it's quite difficult to find a stranger donor, isn't it?
I believe it's like 1 in 20,000.
As we just said.
Right.
What did you think would happen to you when you found out that none of your relatives matched?
Oh, I was hoping somebody would match in the registry, but I knew the chances weren't that good, and I didn't have much time. So.
How much time did you have when you actually got the transplant, Lauren?
Well, it took about 6 months to find it, and they said that was a really opportune time because I was getting pretty weak, and I would have had a massive infection that could have been fatal.
In fact, if you had waited even a few more weeks, it would have been very difficult to have the surgery, wouldn't it?
Right, because the healthier you are going into the transplant, the better chance you have of surviving it.
How are you feeling now?
Really well. I'm doing great.
That's terrific news. Now, I know that last July, you wrote a letter to your donor to thank her. but up to now, you didn't even know the name of your donor. So, Lauren, it's my pleasure to introduce you to your donor, Terry Siciliano, who came to say hi to you on the Today Show this morning. Come on in, Terry. Terry Siciliano. Lauren Atherley.
Oh, God, I've been waiting for this moment for so long.
Have you? Now, you all had communicated through the mail, as I just mentioned. Can you tell me about the letter that Lauren wrote you, Terry?
I got a letter from you, I guess it was mid-July, and I was just so excited to hear from her because I was just so anxious to hear how you were doing. And because of the legalities with the program.
In fact, they asked you to wait for a year before you all...
Yes, a year.
Why is that?
From what I understand, it's because the psyche behind it, as far as if the recipient doesn't take to the marrow, and if they like happen to, you know, it doesn't take, and
right, then you feel guilt.
I feel guilty and responsible, and
obviously, Terry, this is an emotional experience for her.
I'm very excited.
That's okay. Can you tell us how you're feeling meeting Terry for the first time?
I'm so grateful. I'm just so happy I was there for her. I didn't even think twice about doing this, and I would do it again.
I can't believe a complete stranger would go out of their way so much for somebody else.
What made you want to do this, Terry?
I put myself in her shoes. I'm thinking, oh gosh, if this ever happened to me or any of my friends or my family, I'd just be hoping that somebody would be there for myself. And I didn't even think twice. I said, sure. And the ironic thing about it was that the HLA contacted me within 4 or 5 weeks after I donated my donated my blood for a little girl in my neighborhood
who had leukemia,
and they were having a blood drive for her. And I never thought I would be called, and they called me. I said, sure, go for it. And
tell me about, a lot of people are nervous about the prospect of being bone marrow donors.
Yes.
What was it like for you?
It was I just want to emphasize that it was a very clean, safe procedure. Minimum discomfort, very minimum. Of course, it was general surgery, but the pain was it was just discomfort, basically. It was stiffness, and there's no need to be afraid of the AIDS or any kind of hepatitis or any kind of the sexual transmitted diseases which people tend to be afraid of about the procedure.
Dr. Ellie Katz is with the HLA Registry Foundation. He's over there smiling. He works all over the world on setting up bone marrow donation programs. Good morning, Dr. Katz.
Morning, Katie.
You must be very grateful to people like Terry who are willing to do this.
You don't make me see it, but I have tears in my eyes.
Why is this so important for people like Terry to do this?
How can you find someone to save a life without suffering yourself? That's the best and the easiest way in the world to do it. Be a bone marrow donor.
There are a lot of people, I understand, Dr. Katz, on the registry. Why are more needed?
The genetic information of each one is so different that you have to get X amount of information from each one to obtain a perfect match. It has nothing to do with blood. Has to do with the genetic of each individual. This is why most of the time we ask people of backgrounds who have the same backgrounds, like Jews of the same background, Italians of the same background, Spanish of the same background, blacks of the same background. This is what we're looking for. Identity of people. Minorities, we need them so badly. We need them like we need manna. We need it badly.
Do you think some of the fear is slowly being dissolved, the fear of going through this as a donor?
Yes, it is. Slowly. It's getting there. People are coming forward. We're getting more donors, but there's still 16,000 a year coming through needing bone marrow transplant.
Tell me quickly why you got involved in this.
My son had leukemia. About 8 years ago was diagnosed with leukemia. It took us 3.5 years to find a donor. We traveled all over the world. And my son suggested, why don't you try a registry? I won't make it. I said, yes, you will. He made it, and I started the registry.
Terry, would you do this again?
Oh, in a heartbeat. I would not think twice about it. And I want to advocate it because it's, like I said before, it's such a safe, clean, simple procedure on the donor part. From what I understand, it's very hard for the recipient. But it was so fulfilling for myself, And people were saying, oh, you did it to be a hero. No, I didn't do it to be a hero. I did it because I just want to help people, and I wish more people would just be willing to give it the minimum amount of time, and just like I said, it's just basic discomfort. And
I can't think of a more eloquent spokesperson for this. And Lauren, I know you're very happy to meet Terry, and I hope that you all continue to stay in touch. Do you think you will?
I hope so, yeah.
Lauren, Terry, Dr. Katz, thank you all so much for coming.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, especially to all of you, really.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you. For those of you who would like information on how to become a donor in your area, please call the National HLA Registry Foundation at 1-800-336-3363. This is Today on NBC.
It's been almost 25 years since Eunice Kennedy Shriver started the Special Olympics for the disabled. Now, with the proceeds from a new record album called A Very Special Christmas 2, produced by Bobby Shriver, many more disabled athletes will experience the thrill of competing in the sports arena. And Bobby Shriver's with us this morning. Good morning, Bobby.
Good morning, Stone.
You know, I don't think people have a full understanding or appreciation of just how much work is involved in getting an album like this off the ground.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It took more than a year. And the reason it's a lot of work is because each one of these songs is an original piece of music. We don't get other songs that have been previously released. And some people write their own songs. So in this case, Tom Petty, Boyz II Men, wrote their own songs. And to get that together, to get the right musicians, get them in the studio, and get their record companies to approve the whole thing, it's a lot of work.
So if you want to hear these cuts by these artists, you got to buy this album.
You got to buy this record. That's the key to the thing. You've got to buy it.
Now, the first one you did back in 1987 raised what, about $17 million?
$17 million, yes. And we've spent that money all over this country and around the world. We've opened programs in 30 new countries. We've got a great program here in New York City, where we didn't have a program in the city, in Manhattan and the boroughs. And we get 1,700 athletes competing there every year who wouldn't have had a program. So it's had an incredible impact in the Special Olympics around the country.
And you're in all 50 states.
All 50 states. The Special Olympics raises money locally. So although $17 million is a lot of money, every state has to raise their own money. So New York Special Olympics, New Jersey, California, they raise. I don't want people to think, oh my God, they made this money in the record business. Therefore, we don't have to give it our local bake sale, because that's the money that really delivers the program at the street level. We use this money to expand programs, so to start up something new like New York. We're going to start up in LA. We started up in Miami, these urban programs, which are more expensive to run.
Now, I understand some of the recording artists have donated more than just their time in the recording studio, that some of these guys get out and work with the athletes.
Yeah, we've had people who got interested in doing music, and then they came to events to see what had been done. John Bon Jovi went down to Arizona to Window Rock, where we started a program with the Navajo Indians. Bob Seger went to Nepal, where we started a program there. He had a great hit, Kathmandu. Don't ask me why, but we all hiked over there to Nepal and looked at these games with 1,400 Nepalese athletes. There's Bob Seger doing the thing. It was Debbie Gibson's been terrific. Randy Travis, who did Jingle Bell Rock on here, one of my favorites on the record, has been to many events and gives money in Hawaii, where he goes for Christmas, where I hope he is watching this, to the Hawaiian Special Olympics. So we have some people who've gotten really terrifically interested.
And you've got some rap numbers on this. Run DMC.
We have Run DMC on there. I wrote an original song, the lyric of which is, give up the dough, it's Christmas, yo. I know you know what yo means, Stone. Everybody here knows that you know what yo means.
That's it. No problem on that one. You know, how would you describe what the Special Olympics, in the few seconds we have remaining, means to the people who participate in it?
It means everything to them. I mean, to achieve and to have something that's your own in sports. I mean, you know you're a great athlete. People, when they get out there and compete, whether they win or lose, have a tremendous feeling of self-worth and self-importance, and their parents. But people, developmentally disabled people, the parents get very enthusiastic and really work hard with their kids, and their whole family self-esteem comes up, which is terrific.
Bobby Shriver, the name of the album is A Very Special Christmas 2, benefiting the Special Olympics. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Merry Christmas.
We're back after this. This is Today on NBC.
For us, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all.
Yo, y'all.